Dear friends, participating in the 146th International Convention of the Theosophical Society, I'm very happy to present to you the activities of the Theosophical Order of Service in Africa and Europe. The activities under report were severely affected all over the countries by the pandemic restrictions, but the good news is that despite the coronavirus, most of our fearless teams were able to offer their help and solace in relieving human suffering. In so honoring Annie Besant's words, the essence of leading a divine life is given. The Theosophical Order of Service, or TOS, as I will refer to it from now on, operating in many parts of the world, was founded in 1908 by Annie Besant to reduce the sum of pain in the world, to some extent at least, and at the same time to help its workers to learn and evolve through their service activity. Service, in my opinion, is the best way to put into practice the first aim of the Theosophical Society. So, friends, let's go to the overview of the intrepid service that was done in many different countries in Europe and Africa. Enjoy it!
A monthly healing service organized by TOS Belgium for its members is held in Antwerp and in Brussels. Since September 2021, it is possible to participate to the meditation at the lodges. Before, they were online. There was also an online healing meditation for peace on the 19th of October 2021 on the occasion of the International Peace Day. Normally, TOS Belgium is present at each national activity of the Belgium Theosophical Society, but due to the lockdown, there were only online national activities. Several members continue their private TOS initiatives, visiting older members, supporting children in schools, helping in a soup kitchen for the homeless, volunteering in non-governmental environmental organizations, and so on. TOS Belgium is still looking for volunteers wishing to knit bears for the project Teddies for Tragedies. TOS England donated £10,000 to TOS ADR to alleviate the effects of the COVID-19 crisis in the surrounding area of Chennai. TOS England has, to date, shipped over 27,250 teddies overseas, thanks to the generosity of two charities, the International Aid Trust and the Furniture for Education Worldwide, who conveyed the teddies free of charge. In addition, the TOS has also collected computers, printers, projectors, gardening implements, tools, sewing machines, and so on, all of which have been sent overseas by Furniture for Education Worldwide. This has continued, although limited, because of the restrictions. The late Walter Kearney, president of Wallasey Lodge, was a loyal and staunch supporter of TOS and encouraged relatives, friends and neighbors to knit teddies for the TOS. As in the previous year, some members raised funds for the food bank, and this resulted in 30 parcels of food distributed to poor families in the Philippines. Nonna Nina Maki, coordinator of TOS Finland, informed us that donations came from private individuals and that it was not possible to conduct fundraisers. On December 12, a traditional porridge party was held to celebrate Christmas with music, a small-scale play, and a relaxed get-together. In the face of the continuing pandemic-related impossibility of organizing its usual fundraising sales, the French TOS many members and friends have shown touching fidelity. Through their generosity, the TOS has been able to offer its full support, as usual, to the 9 educational and humanitarian service projects it sponsors in India, Africa, and the Philippines. French TOS members are painfully aware of the great challenges faced by workers on the ground in these countries, especially those trying to educate underprivileged school children stuck at home without ready access to the modern communication devices necessary for remote learning. A tightening of loving and supportive fraternal links has taken place with these dedicated servers. The members have again knitted hundreds of teddy bears this year for children in the suburbs of Paris who are victims of domestic violence or without gifts at Christmas. A number of members are involved with other environmental activists in projects to clean up the rubbish in their local communities and to stimulate awareness of global warming amongst children through storytelling. In March, an exchange was arranged by Zoom between TOS members in France and Argentina, who are seeking to redynamize their TOS work. This contact was happy and mutually enriching. As a main line of activity, TOS Hungary continued its work with the Warm Heart Association of Tapiobichke village and with the Gypsy Community Council of Fulokirks village. They managed to recruit volunteers for collecting donations of various objects and of sweets and non-perishable food, of clothes and toys for Santa Claus and Christmas. Several truckloads of these have been distributed mostly to poor gypsy families of Fulokirks and Tapiobichke. In both villages, they donated money and supplies required to start the school year. TOS Hungary sent money donations also to those unable to purchase enough food or fuel to heat their home during the winter. Another truckload of various items and homemade cakes have been delivered to Tapiobichke to cheer up their Children's Day festivities in May. The Warm Heart Association was also helped several times to buy petrol so they could distribute the collected items among the villagers. Responding to the wish of Fulokirks gypsy community, one of the TOS supporters made 3 benches to be set up at the bus stop of the village, so old people and pregnant women could sit down while waiting for the bus. In March, TOS Hungary contacted Pusztarakbány village and, responding to their wish, they collected and delivered 3 truckloads of non-perishable food, toys and clothes. For this purpose, they set up 10 donation collecting points in Budapest. This year, the number of requests for emergency support donations for families soared. Elderly couples, families with many small children, and others taking care of old relatives received a sum of money as donation to ease the crisis. To commemorate the 10th anniversary of TOS Hungary, they organized a team-building event in Kizekset. Their virtual healing group is in its 9th year of operation and works according to TOS Rite. In these last months, the group, led by Susanna Kovacs, excellent in her role, have a rather large number of patients. Usha Shah, coordinator of TOS in Kenya, informed us that 2021 was a hard year. The spread of the coronavirus resulted in lockdowns, closing of schools, educational institutions, and businesses all over Kenya. The Nairobi Lodge started its new year at the end of February 2021. It was rather difficult to carry out any planned service projects like caring for the environment, animals, and so on. But luckily, TOS Kenya was able to contribute with funds to 3 vocational training centers on the outskirts of Nairobi. They invited applicants for training in tailoring, carpentry, and landscaping. 3 candidates were selected, the fee is paid, and the applicants started their 6 months vocational training. TOS Kenya has also financially supported the lodge caretaker, Mr. Mutua Mwaganji, for his course in accounting and business studies. He has already passed the 3 stages and he is into the 3rd year. TOS Portugal supports financially 2 organizations, Chaos Auspicious, that takes care of hundreds of cats and dogs and prepares them for responsible adoption, and another that creates jobs for people who suffer from blindness. Besides that, they collected and donated a lot of clothes, shoes, and useful objects to an organization called Casa, which is like a free supermarket for homeless people, where they can go and get free clothes, blankets, and so on. TOS Spain has continued with its support to the NGOs Comparte and Personas, both working in Central America and involved in providing not only book supplies and scholarships to most disadvantaged children, kids, and youngsters, but also in donating food packages and medicine kits to communal health centers. Moreover, Personas NGO is promoting drilling of wells to get the much needed water supply for agriculture and human consumption in local, rural communities of Haiti. TOS Spain continued also to support the COVID relief in Uganda and the project Feeding the Hungry in Chennai, India. Pictures of daily food distribution in Chennai were regularly uploaded into their website. TOS Spain participated also in the project Oxygen for India, related to COVID-19 pandemics, through the Vicente Ferrer Foundation, and donated tablets to the Olcott Higher Secondary School in Adyar, Chennai, so that the most disadvantaged students could attend lessons remotely. The Internal Solidarity Project was created at the beginning of 2021 in Spain to help members, sympathizers, and others in economic difficulties for the impact of COVID-19 pandemics. In addition to that, some lodges and groups regularly carry on their own service activities, such as healing rituals, zodiac and peace meditations, and so on. TOS in Sweden supports an English project called Mango Tree Goa, which operates in the slum of the city of Goa in India. From 2012, this association has been building schools and kindergartens for children. The students are fetched with the bus every morning and driven to school or kindergarten, where they receive not only teachings but also clothes, supplies, and meals. Just before the pandemic, instead of renting it, the organization finally succeeded in buying a house that now is under renovation. During the pandemic, they distributed food packages also to the families of the students, and most pupils could follow online classes, so this resulted in very few cases of COVID among them. TOS Tanzania and Hurt Babies Project students team from Canada contributed with 4 million shillings, that is around $1,750 for the open heart surgery of 2 children at the Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute in Dar es Salaam. Many educational activities are carried out. 3 students are subsidized in their university studies, and Dr. Yash Dubak and Dr. Hitesh Chauhan provide the Dahaya Punja Library with newspapers, magazines, books, and theosophical material. TOS Tanzania also supports more than 90 children at Chanika Orphanage. In this institute, masks and sanitizers have been distributed too. Other initiatives of TOS Tanzania are the eye checkup camps and distribution of free eyeglasses, and the distribution of lunches for cancer patients at the Ocean Road Cancer Institute. The family of the late brother P.S. Patel made a donation to TOS Kenya to support their activities. Last May, TOS Ukraine organized an international forum on the theme Ways of Spiritual Development for Men and Society, so to find peaceful solutions for all the problems of humanity. The meeting gathered spiritually oriented people and organizations, and there were 20 speakers from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, India, Philippines, Canada, and more than 2,000 participants. 3 groups of the Theosophical Order of Healing are working weekly, now online, and connect members from Kiev, Dnipro, Zhytomyr, Kropyvnytsky, and Kharkiv. More than 100 people got help, support, and hope for their future life. This work is very useful and inspiring for both the members of the healing groups and for those who are helped. The book of Vicente Hao Chin Jr. on Education Without Fear and Comparison, was translated, edited, and printed in Ukrainian and Russian languages. The book was presented at 2 international conferences at the Alternative School Mosaic in Kropyvnytsky and at the City Library in Nadvilna. Other initiatives were carried out in the city of Kropyvnytsky, such as donations to the House of Mercy and Regional House of Mother and Child, help to animals and ecological activities, while in Zhytomyr there was a books exhibition on the ageless wisdom at the city library. Finally, in Kiev, books were collected and donated to the libraries in hospitals and military divisions. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, TOS Italy has carried out numerous projects, even if some of them had to be adjusted or put on hold because of both the nature of the activities, which could not be carried out in respect of all the new hygiene and safety regulations, and because of the difficulties they had in raising money due to the lack of in-person events. During the first wave of the pandemic, TOS Italy helped the families in need with essential supplies. More than 3,000 euros worth of food, cleaning products, supplies for personal care and hygiene, food for pets, and so on, were purchased and distributed. The project, started in Vicenza and Rome, is still active. Since 2013, TOS Italy supports the Syrian people fleeing from the war, especially the ones living in the Bab al-Salam refugee camp in Syria. Of a vital importance is the presence there of Dr. Ali Nasser, a Syrian refugee himself, active in medical care, especially for children. Years ago, 2 containers with the function of a pediatric clinic were installed in the camp and are still operative today. In 2020, TOS Italy supported the renovation of the whole clinic, including essential structures, in order to allow disabled children to access the premises. Dr. Nasser, who manages the clinic, is fully funded by TOS Italy. In December 2020, TOS Italy sent funds not only for the relief of malnutrition, a very widespread plague in the camp, but also for the purchase of kerosene so that families could face the cold weather. For some years, TOS Italy have been engaged in supporting activities for a small group of Roma ethnicity, especially children, residing in the province of Vicenza. The activities are carried out collaborating with the municipality, local school, and with the local Caritas center. Since last year, the community has been helped through donations of clothes, tools for cooking and eating, prams for babies, and so on, but also with gifts for special occasions, such as Christmas, children's birthdays, the end of school, and so on. That was extremely important, especially during the COVID-19 crisis, when TOS helped them to purchase essential goods to face both the lockdown and the coldest months of the year. 2 healing groups are active in Italy, 1 weekly and 1 monthly. But TOS Italy participate also in TOS international projects, such as the Al-Qad schools in Adyar, the Kandel home schools in Pakistan, where they subside 2 classes of elementary school children, and the Women Empowerment Project in the Odisha state, India, for the higher education of 25 disadvantaged girls. Finally, TOS Italy kept supporting the activities of the Little Flower Convent in Chennai through donations and funds. This institute welcomes 800 children and young people who are deaf or blind, giving them the opportunity to obtain a recognized diploma and to find a job, instead of being condemned to survive in poverty, excluded from the society.
For Theosophists who have understood, at least theoretically, that unity is the nature of existence, daily life cannot but be service. The work of giving immediate help to those in need cannot be neglected, the more in these challenging times. So, let the light of altruism shine. Let us be compassionate.